President of the Ghana Hotels Association, Edward Akanyamika Jr., has downplayed the impact of Ghana hosting the Continental Free Trade Area on hospitality services in the country. The agreement will become operational next year, and already economists have predicted brighter prospects for the industry. But Mr. Nyamike tells Joy Business the high tourism levies coupled with other taxes are already negatively affecting the industry.
Continental Free Trade Area will certainly bring in a lot of guests, and we have hotels that will meet that standard.
But they have any issues?
Well, you see, and that's why I'm saying that if government is serious, okay, about creating that impressive hub, okay, to pull in more visitors, then we have to look at those challenges on the ground. Yeah, we need to look at those challenges on the ground, because if we set up the secretariat here and we begin to witness falling standards from the hotels because of the challenges that we are facing, at the end, the total wealth will be zero. Okay, so what we are saying that they should begin to sit with the industry players through the ministry, through tourism, and we've always mentioned that, see, we need to have a more holistic approach to tourism, because tourism itself is a cultural thing, it's a lifestyle thing. It cannot be dealt with one ministry. I always say that it cannot be dealt with by only the Ghana Tourism Authority. Yeah. There needs to be that sector approach to it, where you multi-sector approach to it, where you bring in all the players. Sanitation is there. When we are promoting tourism, we need to promote sanitation. We need to promote the infrastructure. We need to promote even our cultural values and all those things. It has to be taken holistically.
Meanwhile, despite a directive from the Ghana Hotels Association to its members to desist from quoting prices in foreign currencies, Tourism Minister Barbara Otinjis is justifying the practice. She says it is to guard against fluctuations of the cedi.
I believe that the hotels' rates are dollar rated, but the payments are made in cedis because they want to currency fluctuations, so they need to ensure that they are getting value for the rates. That's why I guess it's dollar denominated, but enforcement of that regime is not within my capacity. But as long as we are paying the cedi equivalent, I think that it shouldn't really be an issue.
Now, the effect of climate change is being experienced in all facets of life, and Ghana is not spared. Climate change is said to be having a negative impact on the growth of small and medium enterprises in the country. The International Chamber of Commerce has therefore called for greater climate ambition from both businesses and government. Emmanuel Donikwame is the Secretary General of the Chamber, and he's been sharing how SMEs can cope.
Don't we start using organic material instead of using plastic? Because the issue of single-use plastic is also a very big issue now. Because you go to most of the chogates, you see a lot of plastics in there. You go fishing, and you may end up, instead of catching fish, our oceans are just full of plastics. So there's been the call for the use of, for the promotion of single-use plastic.
So while you try to conscientize people about the impact of climate change, how do the SMEs cope? What kind of strategies can they adopt to, fight off this challenge, maybe?
First, as I mentioned, you have to develop your own resilience to climate change. And as a result, you need to have your own plan, how to develop a climate change plan. You should have your own strategic plan as part of your resilience plan. And the first thing that comes to mind is for you to cut down your cost by reusing things that, or remanufacture. You can reuse things that can be used. You don't get rid of things and then repurchase a new item. And then you try to promote recycling of most of the things that you have. And then you also sit down and then invest more in R&D, whereby you invest more in renewable energy than the materials. How you can use renewable energy to produce what you produce.
That was Emmanuel Donikwame, the Secretary General of the International Chamber of Commerce. Ending the business segment, there's more coming up at 1 o'clock. My name is Darryl Kwao. Back to you, Bernice.
Thank you very much, Darryl. Coming up shortly in sports, Ghana leads in women's heptathlon high jump at ongoing Africa Games. Baba Tando has got details to stay.